Beyoncé telling me to kill it. That'd be huge now. If I could open up for Beyoncé now, we switch it around, you know. But yeah, that's always definitely something fun to look back at. If I get to build with you, then chill for 5 minutes and exchange a little, you know, your music's amazing. Thank you for doing what you do, and maybe we can get together and do something. I mean, that's always incredible.
25, 26 years later, and you know what I mean, I still haven't been paid a check for my records. You know what I'm saying?
I know Babyface was big red. I told you,
You all know how the Beehive is constantly acting so crazed and infatuated with B and J because they are the model couple. But what if I told you that Jay-Z wasn't even the first to go after Beyoncé? That spot is said to belong to Semister, but they are unaware of this. Indeed, Jon B's smooth voice in R&B heartthrob the nines, giving us classics that we may not even know existed and Someone to Love. Someone to Touch and classics don't talk, baby. Just roll with me, take a zip. But CJBJ, he wasn't going to let anyone else take Beyoncé's top spot, so he allegedly swooped in and played the long game. When Jon B mentioned his past with Beyoncé a bit too much, Jay allegedly shut him down completely, and now Jon B is speaking up again. And I know some of you are probably wondering who I mean. I suppose the blacklisting was effective. That being said, let's break down this love that never was in Jay's part in keeping Jon B out of the business. It all began with an old interview that came to light in which Jon B made some controversial remarks about Beyoncé. I can assure you that did not sit well with the public because it was the late 1990s. Destiny's Child was still on the rise, and Jon B was one of the sexiest R&B singers at the time. Was traveling with them, spending time with them, and reportedly paying close attention to young Beyoncé, who was only 16 at the time. In the interview, Jon B talks about touring with Destiny's Child, and he casually mentions that at the time, he was staring at Beyoncé like, "Hey, who y'all?" The way he said it made people laugh and point fingers.
Beginning of her career, so I was looking at little 16, 17-year-old Beyoncé, just like, you know, like, I'm sorry, but because I'm a grown man at the time, it's kind of wrong, but.
And to make matters worse, there are even claims that Jagged Edge pushed their way toward Beyoncé when she was still a teenager. Although this has never been confirmed, some have made some unsettling connections.
This is a type of exposure that these ladies had at a very...
However, who else wasn't pleased with it? According to industry insiders, Jay-Z was responsible for Jon B's disappearance from the public eye. Let's face it, for a split second, some of you had to Google Jon B before watching the video, which speaks volumes because at one point, Jon B, Mr. White Chocolate, was all over the place. His music was played on the radio, he collaborated with legends like Tupac, and he had a fan following that included The Rock. However, he seems to have disappeared with no major celebrities, no industry support, and no significant comeback like other R&B legends of his day. If the rumors are accurate, Jay is said to have been involved in that.
For Pac, and I saw Pac, met him, saw Casey and JoJo in there, Johnny J, you know, rest in peace as well. He was the one who made the beat for Are You Still Down? He produced the beat. And,
that was one of Tupac's.
The crazy part is that some people are calling Jay-Z hypocritical for allegedly going after Jon B because Jay-Z was allegedly playing around with Beyoncé. According to some insiders, Jay-Z allegedly pulled the strings behind the scenes to ensure that Jon B didn't receive the support he needed to stay relevant. If that's the case, it appears that Jay-Z was actually making sure he was the only one standing next to Beyoncé at the top. People have been speculating about when Jay-Z and Beyoncé actually started dating for years. Some claim she was 19 years old, but others insist it was earlier. If that's the case, how is Jon B's situation any different? That's what has people looking at this whole thing. Why did Jay supposedly do the same thing if he was truly that disturbed by an older man showing interest in young Beyoncé?
A lot of people think, yes, these two are together. What's going on?
You can't even name someone, most of you. If there's one thing Jay-Z has always done well, it's controlling the narrative. Beyoncé has been with him for so long that people forget that she actually had a dating history before him, and if Jay-Z was being honest, He made sure those past relationships stayed out of the spotlight. The only photo we have of Beyoncé with another man is from her prom, and that's not by accident. Together for years, and he even talked about how the relationship ended in interviews, although he appeared a little vivacious. He said that as Beyoncé's career took off, their relationship began to fade into the background. Supposedly, it wasn't a dramatic breakup, but rather that they were outgrowing each other now, aside from Lindo. There have been rumors that Beyoncé's name has been connected to a few other businessmen, such as Marcus Houston, who reportedly adores them, Sean Paul, Justin Timberlake, and Cisco, who is actually the most deaf. We cannot claim that the fact that the white R&B singer has always had a downward spiral like Jon B is not a coincidence, which is precisely why people are snooping on Jay-Z in relation to Jon B. Since that video resurfaced, people have been disparaging Johi online, calling him inappropriate, weird, and creepy. With everything that has been revealed about the music industry and the treatment of women, people are not putting up with it. Some even claim that this interview may have been the reason Jay-Z decided to really shut Jon B down. If you believe Jay-Z just allegedly blocked from that was only step one, you know. Jon B has experienced more in this industry than you probably even realize, which is why you got me, because I'm not just talking about the time when people were making fun of him for featuring black women in these music videos. Yes, that was a whole thing at the time. The industry didn't like that a white boy was marrying a black woman, let alone giving them such a prominent role. But there's much more to the story.
15 years.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, look. Your daughters are now 16 and 9.
Yeah.
In a shocking interview on the Joe Budden podcast, Jon B revealed that he had never received a check for his records. When I say that Joe Budden was shaken, he was prepared to leave the room.
Nah. Jon B.
No, they still
Jon
have to
B,
pay.
I will walk out of this room.
No,
Why do
they
you think
still,
he lying?
They still have to pay.
That sounds believable.
Every record?
That sounds believable.
Every record, bro.
Nah, there's some type of
Jon B clarified that the majority of his revenue comes from performing live rather than from his hit songs. So all of those classics, like Someone to Love, are unknown to you. Are you still depressed? Yes, he has never received payment for them. Jon P claims that he was bound by a record deal, but there's a catch. The label had him under this deal because some people claim that Jay-Z helped keep Jan stuck and unpaid.
No publishing, nothing?
I mean, it's not what it needs to be. You know what I mean? It's not right. None of that. It was more of like in the fine lines.
the fine print as a young man.
Print, like, oh well, in order for you to get paid, we have to recruit these other artists that we signed.
After all of that, let's connect the dots. Jon B had a promising career working under Babyface's label, but Babyface later claimed that Jon was never signed directly to him, so it was all label business. If the rumors are accurate, JY had strong industry ties and ensured that Jon B never had the opportunity to fight for his money or his masters. Well, if Jay-Z allegedly had a reason to push Jon out of the game, then the Beyoncé connection suddenly makes a lot more sense, doesn't it?
Oh man, I'm about to go talk to Babyface, and really the rest was history. When I walked through the door, it was kind of like evident, okay, we need to be working.
I'll say this. I've never heard of a Babyface artist who wrote all of their music, because you know that Babyface is going to write their songs. Tell me in the comments if you believe that Babyface wrote his songs or if Jon B wrote them. Jon B acknowledged that the fine print of his deal is what got him caught up, and he's still working to fix it today. However, here's the thing. Wild allegedly brought 100% of his music, so he should at least be receiving a substantial portion of her publishing rights, right? When an artist is completely erased like this, it usually means that someone very powerful made it happen. In this case, the rumors were directed at Jay-Z, but things got much worse when he was hit with a federal lawsuit from his former management company, GSM Entertainment Marketing, in September 2015. Jon B signed a contract with GSM, and they started working on booking an entire concert tour for him. This is precisely the kind of thing that powerful industry players love to do. If you look at how the music business works, artists getting deals is nothing new. scheduled to play in Chicago, London, and several other locales, but the contest begins here. GSM asserts they claimed that Jon B owed them over $30,000 in commissions and $100,000 in recording fees for his upcoming album. To make matters worse, Jon B allegedly stopped corresponding with them completely. No calls, emails, texts, or anything else, which, let's face it, is a look in the business world. Before his management business sues him for unpaid commissions, Jon B is out here telling us that he is getting paid for his music. Yes, something is. When you consider it, this litigation wasn't just about money. It was also about making it more difficult for Jon B to recover from his already troubled career. You see, industry insiders are very reluctant to collaborate with artists who have been sued by their own management. If you put the pieces together, this could have been part of a larger strategy to keep Jon B blacklisted first. He is allegedly pushed out of the industry after the incident, and no label, manager, or tour promoter wants to deal with an artist who has a reputation for not paying people. Keep in mind that at this point, Jon B was already receiving no support from the mainstream industry. After that, Beyoncé is allegedly locked into a bad record deal that prevents him from making money off his own music. Now, when he tries to return for a tour and a new album, he is hit with a major lawsuit that kills his momentum. If you thought Jon B would remain silent after everything the industry put him through, think again, because in 2024, he made a comeback louder than ever, and this time he had a bone to pick with two of today's biggest artists, Gunna and Chloe Bailey. Jon B came straight for them, claiming that their song You and Me, which dropped in DS4 Forever, sampled the song from Gunna's album in 2022 without his consent. Listen wasn't just a quiet backstage argument. No, Jon B was furious and made sure everyone knew exactly how he felt. It all began during an interview with the Can We Talk R&B cast, where Jon wasted no time criticizing Gunna and Chloe's collaboration. He stated bluntly that he didn't like their rendition of the song and even went so far as to say he wished they had never made it.
But no, it does get sampled every year, you know, by someone. Last year was Gunna and Chloe Bailey.
But it didn't end there, since Jon B also disclosed that they had never obtained authorization to utilize his record in the first place. He had put it out there that he needed to be hauled at by the gun because he had some business to attend to, but let's take a moment to think. As soon as Jon B began leaking information, Gunna and Cho decided to go with the second option. Sampling is nothing new in the industry. Musicians constantly do it, but there is a proper method to do it. Either clear the sample and pay for it, or you risk being sued. There are various levels to have a sample cleared, and the business side of things can be tricky. So let's speak about what people had to say. Some were riding with him, while others said that he had every right to be upset if his song was taken without his consent. This whole Gunna and Chloe incident wasn't just about a single song. It was about Jon B feeling that he had been taken advantage of by the music industry for decades. First, he was supposedly banned due to Jay-Z, and then he never received payment for his own work. Music, after which he is sued by his management team, and now musicians are reportedly utilizing his songs without giving him credit. At some point, a man has to speak up, and Jon B did, but eventually the day comes, and we might never quite understand what actually transpired with Jon B, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé. But there are two things that are certain: J and B are still in the lead, and Jon B, well, let's just say his name doesn't carry the same weight as it used to, since they are unaware of Jon. What do you guys think about this? Did Jay-Z truly blacklist Jon B to guarantee his spot next to Beyoncé, or is Jon B just another artist who dropped off naturally? If Jay did play a part in that, the power tactics are on another level. Let's discuss it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.